Welcome to EPG Pathshala. This is Dr. Ankush Ambardar from Department of Tourism and Hotel Management, Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. Today, I'll be taking up a topic from Tourism and Hotel Management course, that is Front Office Operations and Management, and the topic is Human Resource Management. Well, after completing this module, you'll be able to understand the meaning of human resource management, its importance in the hotels, and functions of human resource management. Various practices followed in hotels in relation to human resource management. The most important departments of any hotel is the human resource department. Proper human resource management can be the difference between a really well-run hotel and a poorly run hotel. This department is responsible for various activities related to employees directly and for customers indirectly. The primary objective of this department is to recruit the best staff members from the pool of staff and to have cost-effective human resources. The main function of Human Resource Management Department involves orientation, recruitment, selection, training, performance appraisals, career planning, quality of work life, etc. The overall success of any organization depends on the satisfaction and motivation of employees. The present role of Human Resource Department has become pivotal not only to attract best talent to the property, but even to retain the talent with lucrative emoluments. Well, human resource management functions. The first function, human resource management involves the development of administrative functions and the well-being of all employees within an organization. Human resource development includes following functions which are important for any organization to perform well in this competitive state. Well, the functions are: number one, human resource planning. It is the first aspect of human resource process. It is very commonly understood as the process of forecasting an organization's future demand for the right type of people in the right number. It is only after planning that Human Resource Department initiates a recruitment and selection process. Human resource planning is the subsystem in the total organizational planning. HRP is important for the future personnel needs to cope up with change, to create highly talented personnel for the protection of weaker sections for the international expansion strategy of a hotel company. It is the foundation for personnel functions. Second, job analysis. Job analysis is a process to identify and determine in detail the particular job, duties, requirements, and relative importance of these duties for a given job. Job analysis is a process where judgments are made about data collected on a job. An important concept of job analysis is that the analysis is conducted of the job and not of the person. Data related to job analysis may be collected from incumbents through interviews, questionnaires, and the product of analysis is description or specification of the job and not rather a description of the person. Well, purpose of job analysis is to determine training needs, compensation, selection, performance reviews. Third, job design. Job design is a process of determining the precise tasks and responsibilities to be carried out by each employee member of the organization. In other words, the logical sequence to work analysis is job design. Work analysis provides work-related data as well as the skills and knowledge expected of employee to discharge on the job. Work analysis involves efforts to organize tasks, duties, and responsibilities into a unit of work to achieve objectives. Further, job design is affected by organizational environment, behavioral factors. A properly designed job will make it producive and satisfying, and if a job fails on this count, the fault certainly may lie with the job designers who, based on the feedback, must redesign the job. The main approaches to job design are work simplification, job rotation, job enlargement, job enrichment, self-directed teams, high-performance work designs. Fourth is recruitment. It is the process of searching the candidates for employment and stimulating them to apply for jobs in organizations. Recruitment is the activity that links the employers and the job seekers. The main objective of recruitment process is to expedite the selection process. Recruitment is a continuous process whereby the firm attempts to develop a pool of qualified applicants for the future human resource needs, even though specific vacancies do not exist. Usually, the recruitment process starts when a manager initiates an employee requisition for a specific vacancy or an anticipated vacancy. The recruitment involves following process, that is, identifying vacancy, prepare job description and job specification, advertising the vacancy, managing the response, shortlisting, arranging interviews, conducting interviews, and decision making. The recruitment process is immediately followed by the selection process, that is the final interviews and the decision making, conveying the decision and the appointment formalities, which we will discuss in the other function of HRD, which is employee selection. When it comes to employee selection, selection is the process of picking candidates who have relevant qualifications and best meet the requirement of the job and the organization. The employee selection process takes place in following order. Number 1, reception. To attract talented people in the organization, the hotel has to create a favorable impression on the applicant right from the stage of reception. Screening interviews. It is a process used to eliminate those candidates who do not meet the minimum eligibility criteria laid down by the organization. Application blanks. It is for the candidates who clear the preliminary interviews and are required to fill application blank. It contains data record of the candidate such as details about age, qualification, reason for leaving previous job, experiences, etc. Written tests. Various written tests are conducted during selection procedure depending on the job, like aptitude test, intelligence test, reasoning test, personality test, etc. Interviews. It is an interaction between the interviewer and the potential candidate. It is used to find whether the candidate is best suited for the required job or not. Medical examination. Medical tests are conducted to ensure physical fitness of potential employees. Reference checks. After the completion of medical tests, the candidate is asked to give 2 to 3 names of reference in their application forms. These references could be from the candidate's academic field or from previous employer, sometimes co-workers, etc. Appointment letter. After the reference check is made about the candidate selected, and then finally he or she is appointed by giving a formal appointment letter, followed by an orientation program at his/her joining in the hotel company. Employee retention. It involves taking measures to encourage employees to remain in the organization for the maximum period of the time. Hotels are facing a lot of problem in employee retention due to high turnover ratio. Hiring knowledgeable people for the job is essential for an employer, but retention is much more important than hiring. If a person is not satisfied by the job, he may switch over to some other more suitable jobs. In today's environment, it is becoming very important for organizations to retain their employees. The top hotel organizations are on the top because they value their employees and they know how to keep them glued to the hotel organization. Employees may stay and leave organizations for some reason, being personal or professional. These reasons need to be understood by the employer and should be taken care of. The hotel organizations are becoming aware of these reasons and adopting many strategies for employee retention. Orientation. It is even called as induction and socialization. Socialization is the process by which a new entrant learns to appreciate the values, abilities, accepted behaviors, and social knowledge for assuming an organizational role and starts participating as a member of the organization. On the other hand, induction is the process of integration attempted by the organization with the new employee. He or she is handed over a rule book or document of policy procedures with which employees feel a sense of belongingness. Moreover, orientation is a planned process of introducing new employees to their jobs, their co-workers, and the organization. The main purpose of induction is to relieve the new employee from possible anxiety and make him or her feel at home on the job. Orientation programs are carried formally as well as individually, collectively in the hotels. These programs are carried at different time durations, right from 1 week to more. Placements. It refers to posting of an employee to a specific job with the rank and responsibility. The jobs of HR are simple as the job is independent, but where the jobs are sequential or pooled, human resource specialists use assessment classification model for placing newly hired employees in the organization. For example, the job of placing a waiter steward to its position is quite simpler as compared with that of placing an employee as food and beverage manager position. The job of placing a steward to its position is called an independent job, but the job of placing employee at manager level can be considered as sequential or pooled job. Next is training and development. Training and development refers to the imparting of specific skills, abilities, and knowledge to an employee. A formal definition of training and development is an attempt to improve current or future employee performance by increasing an employee's ability to perform through learning, usually by changing the employee's attitude or increasing his/her skills and knowledge. Training both physically, socially, intellectually, and mentally are very essential in facilitating not only the level of productivity but also the development of personnel in any organization. Therefore, training can be put in contact relevant to school administrators. However, knowledge is the ability, skill, understanding, and information which every individual requires acquiring in order to able function effectively and perform efficiently. The need for training and development is determined by the employee's performance deficiencies computed as follows. Next is performance appraisal. Performance appraisal is the process of obtaining, analyzing, and recording information about the relative worth of an employee. The focus of the performance appraisal is measuring and improving the actual performance of the employee and also the future potential of the employee. Its aim is to measure what an employee does. Performance appraisal can even be said as a systematic, periodic, and an imparting rating of an employee's excellence in the matters pertaining to his present job and his potential for a better job. It is a systematic way of reviewing and assessing the performance of an employee during a given period of time and planning for his future. It is a method of evaluating the behavior of employees in the work spot, normally including both the quantitative and qualitative aspects of job performance. By focusing the attention on performance appraisal goes to the heart of personnel management and reflects the management's interest in the progress of employees. Next is job evaluation. Job evaluation is a systematic way of determining the value of a job in relation to other jobs in an organization. It tries to make a systematic comparison between jobs to assess their relative worth for the purpose of establishing a rational pay structure. However, it can also be related to outputs such as sales, project completion, or units processed. Size can also correspond to contribution made through the job to the achievement of organizational objectives. The concept of size will be further explored when examining the various analytical methods utilized in conducting a job evaluation program. Next is quality of work life. Quality of work life involves promoting a work environment conducive to the satisfaction of employees' needs, teamwork, and a sense of ownership, the results of managers' efforts in fulfilling the employees' needs as essential factor for high productivity and performance. However, employees today are spending more time in the workplace in response to job insecurity, workplace demands, perceived career needs, financial pressures, and so forth. To a large extent, the rise in working hours has been greatest among members of dual earners and dual career families where both husband and wives work. Increase in the mean number of hours people work, the growing number of women in the workforce, and the increased participation of women with preschool children in the workforce have contributed to concerns about balancing the work demands and family settings. Accordingly, the rising number of two-income households is heightening the concern for employees' quality of work life, as is the changing element of the meaning of success and the changing expectations regarding self-fulfillment. The quality of work life for the working population has been conceptualized as derived from satisfaction experienced through having a good job and a good life. Next is compensation administration. It is a segment of human resource development focusing on planning, organizing, and controlling the direct and indirect payments employees receive for the work they perform. Compensation includes direct forms such as base, merit, and incentive pay, and indirect forms such as vacation pay, deferred payment, and health insurance. The ultimate objective of compensation administration is to have efficient maintenance of a productive workforce, equitable pay, and compliances with federal, state, and local regulations based on what company can afford. Compensation is an exchange or a transaction from which both parties, employers and employees, get benefit. The components of compensation program are base pay, wages, salaries, and incentives, benefits, services, administrative policies. Next is employee welfare. Employee welfare includes anything that is done for the comfort and improvement of employees and is provided over and above the wages. Welfare helps in keeping the morale and motivation of employees high so as to retain the employees for longer duration. The welfare measures need not to be monetary terms only, but in any forms. Employee welfare includes monitoring of working conditions, creation of industrial harmony through infrastructure for health, industrial relations, and insurance against disease, accident, and unemployment for the workers and their families. Employee welfare entails all those activities of employer which are directed towards providing employees with certain facilities and services in addition to wage or salaries. Next is industrial relation. Industrial relation is one of the most delicate and complex problems of modern industrial society. Industrial progress is impossible without cooperation of employees and harmonious relationships. Therefore, it is in the interest of all to create and maintain good relations between employees and employers. Next is management or executive development. It is a planned, systematic, and continuous process of learning and growth by which managers develop their conceptual and analytical skills to manage in the organization. It even is concerned with improving performance of managers by giving them stimulating opportunities for growth and development. Management development is an invaluable investment in the long run as it helps in acquiring knowledge, skills, and abilities to adjust with changing environment, technology, and processes effectively. It even helps executives to analyze their career goals and aspirations in a planned manner. Further, executives can perform better on the job by handling various jobs and would be more useful and productive. Executive development programs help managers to broaden their outlook, look into various problems, examine the consequences carefully, and exonerate their responsibilities, taking a holistic view of the entire organization. Managers have a feel of how to discharge their duties without robbing people with the help of special courses, projects, committee assignments, job rotations, and other exercises. Next is employee counseling. Due to present stress in the lives, especially the workplace of the employees, counseling has emerged as the latest human resource tool to attract and retain its best employees and also to increase the quality of workforce. In the spaced world of competition in hotel and even other organizations, there is almost no organization free of stress or stress-free employees. The employees can be stressed, depressed, suffering from too much apprehension arising out of various workplace-related issues like managing deadlines, meeting targets, lack of time to fulfill personal and family commitments, or due to some personal problems, etc. In this concern, most of the organizations have realized the importance of having a stress-free, motivated, and competent workforce. Hence, many companies have integrated the counseling services in their organizations and making it a part of their culture. Next is employee mentoring. It is done with the help of an experienced person who teaches and trains the employees, which may be less knowledge in given area. A mentor, appropriate information, feedback, and encouragement nurtures, supports, and guides the efforts of the young employees whenever required. Next is employee motivation. Any manager's job at the workplace is to get things done through employees, and to do this, the managers should be able to motivate employees. Most of these ideas focus on the types of reward employees derive or at least expect to derive from their jobs, and in particular, intrinsic versus extrinsic benefits. Intrinsic rewards are those that stem from performing the work itself. They can include, among other things, feelings important or successful, learning valuable skills, and enjoying the outcomes of completed works. Example, helping other people, pioneering new technology. Extrinsic rewards, on the other hand, accompany the work process but aren't directly part of it. The most common are financial compensation and benefits such as health insurance and paid time off. Many modern theories of employee motivation emphasize intrinsic rewards as being central to the motivation process, while extrinsic rewards are often seen as necessary but not sufficient. Next function is health and safety. Health, safety, and security are closely related to each other. Health includes physical well-being, emotional and mental well-being. Safety refers to the act of protecting the physical well-being of an employee. It includes the risk of accidents caused due to machinery, fire, or diseases. Security refers to protecting facilities and equipments from unauthorized access and protecting employees while they are on work. It is a well-known reality that human resource is the key factor of organizational success. Organizing employees' training and maintaining occupational safety and health are among the main functions of human resource management departments. While to summarize the chapter, the success of any organization depends on the human resource practices adopted by them. The performance of employees will have a direct impact on overall performance of the organization. In current times, the human resource practices should match global standards. The attraction and retention of talent remains the primary objective of human resource department in any organization. Various functions such as training, recruitment, selection, performance appraisals, promotions, health and safety are important and new trends prevailing in the market need to be incorporated for better results. Thanks for watching EPG Pathshala. This was Dr. Ankush Ambada from Kurukshetra University.